welcome to Conversations with Tracy and Vera,
where we delve deep into real stories about people's careers and mental health. Buckle up because today we are joined by the one and only Odur Ronald. He mainly uses aluminium printing plates and copper, through which he expresses himself in very many different ways and expressing very many different possibilities through which one can do art. His art looks at expressing socio-political interactions and their influence on the contemporary world. His work addresses the contemporary issues of power, movement, access, belonging, and personhood. Buckle up for a very beautiful journey with Odur Ronald. You're welcome.
You're welcome, Odur.
Thank you. As she has said, I'm a multidisciplinary visual artist. I mainly use aluminium printing plates and copper wires in my work. To create installations, sculptures. I also paint on the same shiny material. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Odur, how best would you want to be called? Is it Odur or Ronald?
You guess. But anyways, I love to be called Odur because it carries my where I come from and also a lot of things within that name. So yeah, that's
Okay.
I love to be associated with.
Okay, beautiful. Odur, on our show, usually have 3 fire questions, which I would want to
I
ask
hope I
you.
don't bad.
Hopefully, do
Like she mentioned, you're a visual artist. If you weren't a visual artist, what would you be?
I would be an artist.
You mean there
But
is
no,
nothing else you would be apart from
yeah,
an
but
artist?
by the actually, I was to be a paramedic.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but it wasn't that much interesting, so I was like, I'm going to call it art. Yeah.
Wow, okay. My second question is funniest thing that has ever happened to you while doing your art or at school?
Wow, funniest thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
Can give
Funny
us
thing.
that one catchy one.
But anyways, it is not funny though, but maybe it is also funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember one time when I was there's a work someone had taken, and then they wanted the work, and the other one I didn't have it. I'd given it to someone. So I had to create an artwork in 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I was coming back to Uganda, that was in London, and my Uber was coming, so I had to stitch in 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah, because I had to leave
That's
that one.
wild.
How long had the first work taken you?
Probably like 2 hours. So I had to create it in 15 minutes.
Did it come out perfectly though?
Yeah, it was really perfect.
Oh, that's
This is the
talent.
first time I'm
It
talking
means
about
you're
it.
good at what you do.
Created 1,000 consequences. Yeah, but yeah.
Indeed. Okay.
But my third question is, if you are younger, if your young self saw you now, what is the first thing they would say?
It was a surprise because
They didn't expect you to be here.
yeah, the younger me was shy, was a loner, was everything. But now I love being around people and
They're
yeah.
expressive. I remember you telling me back then you wouldn't say anything unless your colleagues would be around.
Yeah. And also I'm not a person who uses very much of. I used not to use a lot of words like verbally. Yeah, so that's why I use a lot of art to talk about a lot of things. Yeah.
So meaning your art expresses who you are and
majority of
it has a lot of information behind it, right?
yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Amazing. So, Odu, could you take us through your journey? How did you start doing visual art? Where did the love and the passion for this art start from?
I remember it was on the 1st of January, some years back. That's when my mom gave birth to me. But we are having a journey, right?
Which
And
years were those?
we'll
Yeah,
get
what
back
the
into
year?
it.
You know, they always say that women don't like telling their years. Why aren't you saying the year?
Because I'm sitting between two women. So. But to give you a little bit of a chronology around it is, Um, I used to be an artist. For me, that's what I know, but I didn't know that it was art. So I used to make my own toys. I used to play with a lot of clay, copper wires. I used to make those cars and what. And I used to love music too. I really loved the band, brass band, and I used to follow it wherever it goes, and then come back and my mom deals with me accordingly. So, and I promised myself if I ever be able to afford certain things, I'll do it. That's why I bought a trumpet in my house and it is there. Yeah, I don't even play it like, I used to play trumpet 7 years ago when I was in school, but now I play something small, but it's just there. Yeah, and then I told myself I'll buy myself toys, the cars. Maybe one day I'll buy myself a car. Yeah, maybe one day I'll buy myself a car. Okay, I bought myself a car. But yeah, so the experience I got when I was younger influenced my practice right now to being an artist. I used to, even in the geography lesson, I used to shade the map until the teacher beats me up.
Wow.
With the, I used to steal my big sister's art pencils, like 6Bs, because I was in primary school, and go and brag with it like you. And I used to draw like cartoon characters like Spider-Man, Superman. We used to have shakes that there's that whatever animation kind of situation, shakes. We used to draw them, and when I turned out like in high school, there's this art space, craft space actually, where I went to. My sister used to see a lot of things I've done in art on paper, and she would find me like, one day let's go there. And then we went there, and then introduced me to this guy called Simon Kagwa, and he taught me to paint. He taught me a canvas, they paint on different paints like oil paints, acrylics. So from there, that's when I learned about these things. And then sometime they were opening the first, because they opened the design hub twice. So the first opening of it, I met this friend of mine called Hamza Chimera, and introduced me to 32 degrees. And then the second launch of it, that's when I was like, oh, let's go there. Then the next day I went there, and I met a lot of people, artists, and that place is where I was introduced to conceptual art by Nikki Cicero Maga. And I also met Othello Hartley de Souza, who is a British photographer, who introduced me to a lot of things around conceptual art, how to write an artist CV, artist portfolio, statement, and all these things. And the rest became history. Yeah, and the primary material I use is aluminum printing plates and copper wires, which I also collaborate with different art mediums. Yeah, currently.
Amazing. So why the aluminium and the copper wires? Why is it the way of expressing yourself in art that you chose?
Me specifically, I grew up in Zambia, and also bordering Katwe and Chisenyi, which are really known for scrap dealings. And I grew up in the railway quarters, which were constructed by the British. And by that time, it was really, the whole structures were just breaking down, and they had taps, pipes, and what. So we used to get those broken things, and we took them to Katwe just to get ourselves small money. And for me, I studied at Shimoni Demonstration School, and we had a lot of kids from different walks of life. So people came with amazing toys and what, and like so it's the scrap dealings that gave me a little bit of cash to also purchase these toys for myself. And from there, I used to pass through Nasa Road, and there's this time I found one of the plates on the what on the trash bin, and it had been like they had burnt the papers, and it had also like melted part of it. So I was like, maybe this will take it. So I got where to hide it in the evening. I went and got it after school and took it to Katwe. It was not one or two, but it was a couple of it. and I got some good money out of it. I was like, Kati, this is the real deal. This is the gold. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, within that, when I grew up and I was on my mom's phone and I saw this guy ripped a Coca-Cola can and was embossing it, and that's the only thing that clicked in my mind was the aluminium plate. And I went to Nasser Road, bought it. I remember it was 1K, and figured out how to emboss it. And that's how I developed with the material. But then the copper wires, my dad is an electrician, so I used to steal his copper wires and
Does he know?
he knows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
amazing.
from the work that you do and the work that I've seen that you do, like she said, like you've said, it's on, you use aluminium. Yeah. How was it in the beginning? Because most artists that I know are about drawing and painting. How was it in the beginning? Who would I say, okay, you've already told us who inspired you, but how was it in the beginning? Did you have people that would support or that liked your work in the beginning?
My parents were like, I should find a job, first of all, and they wanted me to be a paramedic. I remember when I went to a high school, I don't know if kids right now know, like, but first used to do whatever stroke this. So I was doing PCB stroke art, and the art I was like, okay, let me just do the art, but I was to do PCB, like math, yeah. I was like, you guys.
So you did your PCB stroke art?
I did it for the first time. Then the next time I called my dad, I was like, I need more books. They gave me more books.
You did tell
and then
him why.
No. It's not that I couldn't do PCB, but it wasn't that much interesting for me. I was like, but what if I become an artist and I've gone through all this crazy situation?
hustle.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I need new books. The people I were with, because I was like, because of the anger I had, I was like, I want even to do Heg D. But I was like, but art. So I was doing Heg art. Yeah, and my books had equations, biology or drawings, but it is history, an history book. Like, a geography book has like mechanization, like what? So the first pages have like science things, and then we have history and what and economics.
Yeah.
So no one stole your books.
And the first lesson I had it was when I transitioned, it was economics, and it was a paper. I remember scoring 0, 0. And I had written a lot of things
0,
about
0.
elasticity.
Do you not get a 0, 0?
Yeah, it was 0, 0.
Econ is something.
And my friends were like, let's give you like some. I was like, no, I want to see what I understand in this. Yeah, so I deliberately got my 0. Yeah, but it was okay.
So it was deliberate.
Yeah. I really love to see my potential. Yeah.
So when did you do your first exhibition?
My first exhibition was with Street Lights, Uganda. I remember Rudney, Chigundu Rudney was and Akinyi Vicky, the first people to give me an exhibition. It was at the Underground Gallery, the former Nakumat. Yeah, and then the second exhibition was in a slum with the Ghetto Film Project in Naguru. Yeah.
How was it? How was the experience?
I remember I was scared to share my work with the public. I remember my brother called Odur was the one who carried my work, and we went, and this artist was like, oh, do you have a lot of work? I was like, yes. I wasn't carrying it. And he put them there, and I was distancing away from being the owner of the work.
You didn't want to own your work?
No, because I was scared. I was like, me to show this? No. This is not...
What was behind the anxiety? Was it because other people were doing something different?
No, actually, I wasn't. I used to do my work in my house, and my mom was the only person who I spoke to about my work, and she used to ask me a lot of questions, like, "Oh, so today what are you doing?" My family was my audience that time, because I'm used to them and I can talk to them, like, share with them, So, but when I went out,
It was
it's crazy,
Show other people.
I was ashamed of it.
Ashamed of your work?
Yeah.
Wow, can only imagine.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Amazing. So, could you take us through the first steps of doing visual art.
Mm.
For an artist out there who maybe wants to follow in your footsteps, and they want to know what is visual art. What does it mean to do visual art that
What does
speaks
it
to the
entail?
contemporary society? What are the first steps? How do you go about it? Yes.
So visual art is also broad enough, and people have their own aspirations and what they want from art. Some people want money, some people want to express themselves, some people want to make statements like me. Some people are passionate just about it. It's a hobby to some people. For me, art is a platform to express myself, to make statements, and also to create conversations. And the steps of my creative process, I don't know if that's what you want to listen to, but me and all my works are inspired by my experiences, and also I broaden it up to other people's experiences, because we are just putting everything together and comparing and contrasting. And from my experience, that's when I conceptualize it, and I think about me first, if I like it, if what, and then I think about other people afterwards. Yeah. So I remember I used to do art for people until I realized I'm not creating a commodity, but rather an expression. And you cannot ask people to express yourself.
Explain the story behind that.
Exactly. So I started expressing myself, and that is another layer to being really how do they call it? Should I say just thinking about me, myself, being selfish or what? Yeah, something like that. So I was selfish enough with myself, with my practice, with my art, to express myself, and then other people join me. Yeah.
I don't think it's
Selfish.
it's selfish. I think it's being able to look within as a person, and you're able to not create for the consumer but for yourself, in that you're able to create something that is authentic to who you are and something that basically speaks to you before it speaks to anybody else.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the same spirit, before we came on set, we were just discussing about your art.
Yeah.
And according to your bio and according to the art that we have seen, your art brings out the social economic aspect. You try to depict society and your story through your art. Could you just take us through that particular aspect, and maybe along the way also tell us about some of your art pieces? For example, my favorite is the 1,000 passports, the very
This one here.
piece behind us.
Yeah.
If you could just give us like a story behind some of the pieces. Yes.
Wow, I have a lot of work, some of which I've forgotten. But my works, just like I told you, they're from my experiences. And some people think it's not, but it is. I work within bodies of work, and within those bodies of work, I have different works in there. Like I have the Republic of This and That, which is right now the work I'm really extending. I have the Art of Offense, which is really political and really state kind of political work, like societal, like reflecting on society and what. And then I have Women Resting, where I paint my sister actually, or my sisters at rest, and the way I grew up with them, saw them like do their works, like chores and what, also putting it together with our cultures here and how women are. Yeah, but if I'm to borrow from different bodies of work, like the Republic of This and That, which is also my favorite. Yeah, I just create it freely. Besides the Art of Offense, which I have to first consult people, be like, would I get into trouble about this? Yeah, but the Republic of This and That, I'm trying to talk about like access and belonging and movement, which is really where I'm using a passport as a lens to talk about different issues, especially the African people pass through when they're accessing places, especially like Europe and other, which is really, I find it not reciprocative, because they'll ask us a lot of things. When were you born? Who is your mom? What is your mom's name? When was she born? What does she do? at some point they are going to ask
A lot
us,
of questions.
yeah, did you eat food? What did I?
What's your bank statement?
Yeah, yesterday I was applying for a visa, and I had a kilogram of papers, so
Oh,
asking me a lot of
just to
things.
get a visa.
Yeah, but that work is really it was inspired by my experience when I used to apply for grants, for residencies, for exhibitions, and I was really rejected in different ways, in different colors, in different languages, uh, in past tense, in present continuous, and
Are they rejecting you because of your color?
not really. Yeah, maybe I didn't write good English. Maybe I wasn't articulate in my exhibition and my visions.
And your
Yeah.
art?
Yeah, maybe I wasn't really that articulate, or maybe they didn't find me as their favorite, or maybe someone paid something, or they don't know me. You never know. But for me, I used that experience to, and I extended it to the idea of like the passport. What if I'm to apply for a visa now? So I'm going also to be rejected. If I apply for a residency, let me say in London, then I have to apply for a visa to go there.
Yeah.
So there's a barrier like for an African artist to also go the other side and then be an artist and share their artistic creation with spaces that are not the usual spaces they share like their ideas in. And also we are Africans, we have to tell our stories, not only the people in Africa.
Not just
You know the
worldwide.
story of Nambi, right?
Yes.
Yes.
In Uganda here, I can't tell you Nambi again. I have to go and tell other people
Other
about
people
Nambi.
that don't know about it.
Yeah. So that's the reason as why I started extending this project. But then I was also not talking about it in the aspect of only travel, because I was using a passport as a lens also to talk about different issues within Uganda, like nepotism, sexual harassment, and other different things. Yeah. So then the work you're talking about, the one I'm showing in Liverpool,
Yeah.
which has, I made 1,000 passports and 17 chairs and 20 jerry cans and an aluminium mat. Everything is aluminium and everything hand stitched.
Wow.
Everything is hand stitched.
Hand-stitched.
Yeah.
That always blows my mind. 1,000 passports.
How long does
Me, I
that
don't
take
have a
you
mind
though?
anymore because it was blown out.
How long does it take you to stitch all those things? The chairs, the mat, the jerry can. I mean, how long does it take
I
you?
have now studio assistants, but way back before even that work, I used to work alone. Yeah. But now I worked with almost 18 people on that work, and there are certain things they can do, like making that chair, the foundation of it. It's me to make it because they can't. It has a lot of mathematics, it has a lot of what thinking. So I have to first make it, and then other people join it with different things. Yeah.
Even that carpet I see down, you
It's
literally stitched
weaved,
it.
it's woven.
Wow.
You have to like rip printing plate, and then you weave it. Yeah.
So what is the mat representing though?
So from the cultures of Africans, like the Baganda, and also where I come from, Mamelangi, when they give you a mat in a household, it's like a welcome.
Oh,
So
yes.
the visa is also has a layer of like, if you go to a visa office, automatically you're welcome, right?
Yeah.
But you're not welcome. Yeah, they'll give you a chair. That's what the Bazungu do. They'll give you a chair. "Ah, sit here, you sit. You're welcome." In our households, be like, you sit. Gubo mukeka, you sit. Yeah. But also another layer to the mat is the single pieces of it that makes different parts together. Yeah. So for me, if Africa is really big and it is one continent, how about we just have one Africa and we get all our passports together and make something strong, just like that mat. It is huge and
It's a
strong
huge
because
mat.
of the different aspects to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has a lot of symbolism and layers to it.
Why do we have jerry cans in there?
The jerry cans are a representation of the legal movement. Like someone holds onto a jerry can and they pass over the Mediterranean Sea to go to Spain and what from Libya. And, yeah, so that is the legal kind of migration. That work I borrow from the transatlantic trade, whereby the Africans were taken in Europe, most especially in Liverpool, to work on the cotton farms and the cotton industries and the what, without their permission, without their will. But right now, it's the other way around. the Africans are finding any possible way that you not talk.
taking
And not
themselves.
talk,
Yeah. Yeah. So some people use the legal ways in court.
Yeah.
Some people use the illegal ways. So the representation of the legal ways is the chair whereby you go and sit in the visa office and you're interrogated and whatever, interviewed, and you either get the passport, the visa or not. Then the illegal way is to get an illegal boat or hold on to a jerry can, or make a boat out of a jerry can, what, and all these things. So it is really symbolism and the reality of it. Yeah.
There is some other work of yours that actually captured my mind. Yeah, I'm a lawyer, so you have a piece on Lady Justice. Well, what we have is different from what you did.
Yeah, it is still symbolism, because I'm trying to relate the reality and then the symbolism also, and trying to talk about something and have a conversation just like we are having right now, whereby I use the Greek mythology of the Themis, the Lady Justice, the symbol of justice, where they have scales and then they're blindfolded and with a sword on the other hand.
Yeah.
So for me,
You
I
have
hope
a
I'm-
gun, you have
I hope-
money.
I hope I'm not. But anyways, I'm going to apologize. I'm just being an artist.
Yeah.
If anything happens, these people told me they're lawyers.
Shall
But
bail you
anyway,
out.
that will be another work for it. But we have to talk about things as artists. We are also
Yes.
people who also look at the society and also the governance and what, and we through our arts we talk about something.
As is, yeah.
Yeah, and me, I don't have a side, or I talk about the reality.
Yeah.
If I drink water, I've drunk the water, right? So if we go back to the to the symbol of justice,
Yeah.
is for me, I looked at the judicial system and sometimes the way it works, like what has been happening in my society and also me particularly, whereby people go to court, because some other people have certain kinds of power,
Yeah.
they manipulate the law, or they make the law to be things to be slow. Like, oh, we don't have the ink is not there in the printer. The judge didn't come because they lost some hours. They have adjourned it to next week. They have whatever all those things, and also the nepotism and what that we have sometimes. Like one time, my car was the bumper was ripped off by a car, and I got to confront the person, asking them to see what they have done to my car, and they showed me the gun because I'm a human being. So such things. So within the law, some people use money, some people use the gun, and I question the idea of if the law sometimes is really even blind. Yeah. So the gun was a representation of the sword. I replaced it with a gun, and then also the money. Maybe that is the law now. Yeah. So it's just a lot of symbolism around, and in that piece, the symbol of justice wasn't even putting on white. It was kind of a greenish, pale green. Yeah.
Like it's confused.
Totally different.
Yeah. and also we had cotton around it, which is a symbol of, like, I don't think we have the freedom, like, to be like to with the law, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Seems you like freedom. There is also another work of yours on is it give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
about
Kaisai.
area Kalisai.
Yeah, it was from the like imposing, like, over the top tax on social media, and it was still infringing on my freedom to express myself. I bought data. Again, I pay for the tax.
The OTT.
Yeah, and I'm an artist, and it's quite difficult to earn in art.
Yeah.
Not for me now, though. But yeah, it was. So I couldn't afford 200 shillings by that time. And that is the reason as why even I use aluminium printing press, because I can buy it 1,000. But a pint of, a tube of paint is like 250,000, like Winsor and Newton. So just imagine how many plates am I getting there, and just a matchbox to burn on the plate. So that was, for me, I found it as an infringement on freedom of expression of an artist, whereby I also borrow from the South Africans, where they used to talk about freedom and all these things to their music, and they used to use vinyl discs, so they used to scratch out the places that used to talk about that kind of music, I was in Nottingham at the Nottingham Contemporary in Nottingham in the UK this year, 2 months ago. They invited me, and there was this artist who they were showing, and they had this, like they had made an extensive research on that, and they had like all the scratched discs and what, yeah, and I was like, okay, this person is also talking, like speaking to me, and also maybe thinking that I'm
They're
thinking.
speaking language.
Yeah, so I recreated, I used also symbolism and objects in using aluminium, where I made a radio, I made a cassette tape, money, and a newspaper.
Yeah.
And the headline was, if the tax is expensive, try fishing. So just trying to bring humor also, like our amazing president, whereby sometimes he brings humor and then we laugh when he's having like his address and what. Yeah. So, and then the image on that newspaper was a giant 200 coin. Yeah, because it has a fish on it. So if the tax is expensive, try
fishing. Wow.
If you can't afford bread, yeah, muogo.
Maria Antoinette said, if you can't afford bread, go in for cake.
Yeah.
So
In Uganda, it is muogo.
in Uganda, it's mogo.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the most important skill that has helped you in your journey as an artist?
To care about myself too much. That is the skill. Because if I start caring about other people, that is the version of my practice, though. That is not my personality. Yeah, I care about a lot of
It's
too
just something you do when it comes to art.
Yes.
It's generally
It's
like,
not.
Yeah, because if I brought or do the artist in my directly in my like space, like personal, like
Space.
life and what, I don't know, people will be like, because I started just being radical enough and just accepting, like we conform to a lot of things that society wants, and also maybe in careers or what, but then they're just retarding us sometimes. Yeah, so sometimes I just do things just like, this is what I want. And you're like, no, you see, this is what I want. So I just do what I want to do. Yeah, and that is the important skill, because some people fail in certain things, and they're like, me, I failed in this, so I'm also going to make some other person like
fail.
Yeah. So how about you let me try, and then I also fail and learn my lessons. Just tell me I did this and did and this and that, but then you try it and you see. Yeah. So if you fail, doesn't mean that I'm also going to fail. Yeah. If you want to be a doctor, you be a doctor. Me, I want to be an artist. You don't need to drag me to being a doctor. Because
Just because everyone wants to be a doctor,
yeah,
or everyone
I'm
is a
talking
doctor.
about like the reality. I have my relatives who think being like a career has to be like in the medical whatever. Yeah, but we are trying to change the narrative by being
Our traditional parents who think it's only law,
Or being
medicine.
a doctor, engineer.
Yeah. Up to now, they're still confused why my hair is like this.
They haven't understood why.
But that is part of the art, it's self-expression. I get bored. I'm an artist. I get bored very fast. So I remember I used to put on all-star shoes. Then I started putting on Nike shoes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I walk barefooted. And sometimes I'm putting on jeans. Like I just, sometimes I used to have like well-combed hair. I used to have like my shoelaces clean very. Sometimes I'm like, let it is boring. Let it be called that. You understand?
Have you tried putting on olubugo? Is it olubugo back clothes? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to try that.
Wait.
And then I put on an overall. Today I wanted to put on an overall, but I'm like, I'm in the moods of being a little bit of
FOMO.
Like immediate.
Wow.
So, yeah, but like yesterday I was waiting for the visa or whatever, and my friend was like, "Oh, did you put on shoes?" I was like, "I want open shoes. If they want to chase me, let them chase me away." So like, I'm not going to be conforming to certain things sometimes, because our ancestors also left us a lot of things. Like the hair was really something documented, like maybe patterns of movement, like documenting maybe a time for some ceremonies. But Ugandans think if you braided your hair or you've done your hair like this, you're a muyaye. I don't know what a muyaye means. Up to now I'm still figuring that out. But I don't know that it's a colonial aspect whereby You have your hair like cleaned, what. We used not to have something that could whatever our hair. We used to get broken pots and we burn them, we put them in and they're hot and then we just pass them through and we burn them for colors. Now when you tint your hair, they're like olimuyai. So we had all these things. There's a reason that's why our hair is like this. Because of colonialism, also, how do you call it? Racism also. Because our hair is really curly and what. And some people want that, but they cannot get it. So they figure out how to make themselves to be the beauty standard for an African human being. You can't use yellow to tell red to be the way they are.
The way they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I'm telling you people out there, me, I'm not a muyaye. I'm just a human being, and I'm being an African. We used to do all these things when we, like our ancestors used to do all these things. So if right now you're telling me I'm a muyaye, then go back and pray to the ancestors, and then they inform me what happened. Yeah, I just dropped the bomb, so that's the reason. Yeah.
In line with that, I watched a documentary, something very brief. They were talking about the history of hair. I'm also very passionate about natural hair. I discovered something very interesting, how ancient Africans grew their hair. It is not using a lot of fancy products like we do right now. They used to use earthly products. They would use clay. There's like a red clay.
Oh yeah.
They would braid their hair, put clay, and they would make sort of round knots around the head. And someone would have that for months until the growth was so big. Now, clay has properties in it that make hair strong. So if a person is struggling with hair breakage or a lot of dandruff and stuff, you find, clay is rich in minerals. You find that one product would be enough to help with hair growth and curb dandruff and a lot of those things. And the fact that our natural hair sort of shrinks, there's a way that style looked beautiful. But I bet you right now, if you did the same thing, put red clay and
people
move around,
ask you what's wrong.
You're going to become Msawa Muganda, all those things.
exactly.
This gets me back to this work I made called Animu Tukiri. I have two works, and it was during COVID that I created those works. One was a kid who had cotton behind them, and they hold a book. So I covered out if it is it was just holy, and then the other space was was blocked. So I was just talking about which religion, which spirituality is true. Like, is it being a Muslim, Christian, Orthodox, what? Like Animu Tukiri. Is it?
Where a kid was holding a Bible?
That was a book, holy book.
Oh,
I don't know if it is a Bible or
Just a holy book.
Just a holy book.
So we're trying to understand like who is holy. Then there's another piece I made during COVID whereby people were really struggling with food and what. And I was watching a TV like different Christian whatever's channels, and they had like mobile money. And I'm like, how about you collect this and then you support other people also? Or you support the people who were also paying tithe and what? But they're constantly like, to wait. Then I asked myself, like, now who is right? Like, who is right? Is it Msawa Muganda? All these people.
Yeah.
And from that time, I never go to church anymore.
Wow.
Up to today. I pray from home, and I pray to God, and He listens. I don't have any religion. My religion is spirituality, and I believe in God. Yeah. So I made this work whereby I made an aluminium Bible, put it together with bullets, cotton, and the Bible was on your old Google and backcloth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll share with you that work. Yeah. Because that is where the work comes from.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's the story behind Onomuntu
Simulengo.
Simulengo?
That is in that body of work, which I've not yet even like extended. Wow. I'm even forgetting the story around it. But it was about how Ugandans travel abroad as commodities rather than um, being Ugandans.
Being
Yeah,
Ugandan.
so some people it's like kind of a modern day slavery whereby everyone wants to go for cheyo. Yeah,
Oh.
in Nigeria they call it japa,
Dapa.
japa,
Japa.
but there's a way they call it japa, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, so that was around like this is a human being. They're not like a commodity for sale.
For sale.
Yeah.
How they kulenga tomatoes and potatoes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not for sale. Yeah.
Amazing. Could you take us through some of the challenges you have faced in your journey as an artist and basically in your growth, putting yourself out there, applying for those many grants and visas?
Yeah.
What have been the challenges and the lessons that you've learned to help another artist or somebody else out there who would want to delve into the same line of art that you're doing
In
Yeah.
Uganda.
in Uganda and on a global scale?
Global, I don't know the problems they are facing, but at
Okay.
least I know
In
a little
Uganda.
bit of Uganda. Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
could
of
also
that.
give us the mental aspect of it.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
what?
the mental aspect.
The mental
like,
challenges.
Challenges.
Yeah, first of all, a Ugandan artist who is still at their Paris place. You know, Sigala, if your work cannot sustain you, yeah, because I think subconsciously I did that. I was like, I'm going to stay at my mom's place until like this art can do something for me. Like I can pay my rent, I can eat every day, I can do what, because it gives you this mental calmness of like focusing on one thing, not focusing on how am I going to eat, my rent, what. Then you start creating bubblegum work that you just want to sell, and you
get
start
money.
begging people, and you give away your power as an artist. Yeah. So, but for me, I think God, Yambikaka Kasui. Yeah, and I have this friend of mine called Martin, who offered me like a studio space, and like for like almost like 4 years, and it gave me this mental, put it into this mental calmness whereby I just focused on creating work rather than rent, studio rent, and what. Yeah. So yeah, but it was my God. It has been my God.
It's
Yeah.
been good.
Yeah.
Take us through that piece of art, the one we spoke about earlier, where your work was confiscated. You had been invited to go showcase it somewhere, and it was confiscated by the airport here in Uganda.
Yeah.
Yes, could you take us through?
Yeah, so that work was called Muawa. It was still from my experience during the election period last year, last year before this one, and people were rioting in the city center, and where we used to stay was on the boundaries of the city center and then the residential places in Kampala. And I remember they started tear gassing, they tear gassed into our house. Live ammunitions were just rolling out like around. I remember I was on a call with my friend.
They tear gassed into your house.
Yeah, tear gas woke me up. Just imagine, not even a slap.
Tear gas.
Yeah, so for me, it made me to question the idea of if our private spaces are really private. So I was part of the Kla Art Festival by 32 Degrees East, Kla Art 21, and I recreated my living room space. And also, there's certain bits of the work that I'm not going to talk about for my safety also. But I suspended 1,200 aluminium casts of bullet-like objects because I was talking about bullets. I couldn't make tomatoes because they did nothing to me. And then I made a dining room setup. So I suspended them as a chandelier, and also on the table I had like different objects with different narratives around it. Like there was a table and then chairs on either side, and the other side was a television, aluminium television with this colored codes on it with no signal, and then a stone. Then this other side we had like aluminium money and a bullet, aluminium like cast bullet, and then we had a passport and a moonshine, aluminum moonshine bottle. Then we had cigarettes. I'm forgetting other few things. Yeah, but then the other side we had also an Albanian Bible. So all these things were like different power dynamics, which brought about the usage of the bullets and the tear gas that was fired in my house. Yeah. So I think maybe other people, maybe they were stoning the police with the stone I had put. Maybe because of the media that escalated a lot of things, or they don't have the freedom to do certain things on the media. And then some other people have the power, like in religion, which was represented by the Bible. Then this other side, people have money, they have the bullets, the guns, the what, and they sip on different expensive gins and smoke different things which are really maybe expensive, and that kind of power also brings about the usage of the bullets on top, which was like a chandelier. And for me, in that work, I recreated my living room space, and also had like a dining room area. Yeah, and I tried to make it really look subtle and beautiful. I made chaos look beautiful. Yeah, so that work I was invited to be part of the Venice Biennale, representing Uganda at the Venice Biennale in the Uganda Pavilion. So that work the pieces were confiscated because they thought they were bullets. So I don't know what happened. Only those, and then these other ones were brought back. But for me, I felt angry because at least they would have sent me maybe an explanation of it or what, because this is it's from the ministry, because they're the ones who have to make that happen. It's like the Olympics. If the country doesn't know about it, doesn't endorse it, you cannot go to the Olympics. And this is the Venice Biennale too. So I think maybe they would have known about this. And so that work was confiscated, and I had to create another work in 2 hours to send to Venice, to represent Uganda. And I represented Uganda very well in art, just like I did in Senegal. Currently, we are doing in Liverpool, also in Liste, in Basel, like all these things. So within that work, it made me to create another work called Waga Holiday, whereby there is no tabloid that published about that. There's no media like TV, radio,
So
what
there
we
is
spoke
no
about that.
TV in Uganda or media that talked about your award that you won in Benin.
No, it's just recently the Minister of Foreign Affairs that through like British Council still
That recognized, that's when they recognized your work.
Yeah, and it was the first time Uganda was showing in the Dakar Biennale, and also we won that award by another ministry of culture.
So if British High Commission had not
Was
recognized...
it in the picture, Uganda?
No, they don't know that we have that. And I am the only one with that award in Uganda.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so no one knows about that. But it's okay.
No, it's not okay. It is not
It
okay.
is okay.
Uganda is supposed to be recognizing such work.
But they don't recognize it, so maybe they don't want to. Maybe we're not important. So for us, we're just being important in our own way. Yeah.
Oh, we are going back to the thing of Mulibayai.
Maybe to be
Is that how they recognize you people?
Yeah, they used to do that to the musicians, and I don't think if a kid came, Mom, I want to be a musician. At least you can see Bebe Cool, you can see Chameleon, be like, he did this. Mom, I want to be a visual artist. You're like, and you'll be like, who? So that's what we are trying to do now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Could you take us through some of the mentors you've had? Has anyone inspired you, who have helped you in your journey, and how was it? How is? Tell us about mentorship and how it looks in your experience.
First of all, no person inspires me.
Okay.
So you don't look up to anyone at all?
I used to, but not. Yeah, but people influence me. Like they influence the way I think, and like Ibrahim Mahama, my mom, Vera.
Oh,
But
I'm
anyways,
delighted.
but I have had mentors like Othello. Othello Hartley D'Souza. I've had mentors like Martin Karuma, Simon Kagwa, David Kawesi, yes, Kawesi, David Kawesi, who taught me how to draw with a pencil. Yeah, and other people who. And 32 degrees is, yes, yeah. And also, Daudi Karunji from Afri Art, yeah.
And how is that? How have they impacted your journey as an artist?
Some of them have given me platforms for people also to see my work. Like Othello has really connected me and also introduced me to different people, like people in the UK and different individuals in the UK. Like Daudi also, whose gallery represents me, also introducing my works into different spaces also. David Kawesa who taught me how to do art. We had a lot of dreams together, which he's now doing, and also me, I'm almost there. Kagwa also, who introduced me to like painting and what. It's a lot of things, yeah. It's really a lot. And 32 degrees that really started my career as a conceptual artist, yeah. And that whole community is really an amazing one, yeah.
Amazing.
Have you ever had any mental breakdown?
Yeah, that is part of the art.
Did you ever feel like I should back away and do something else?
Yeah, but art is I don't know, it's a spirit that comes back. You reach at a point whereby like maybe this is not working. This is not working. You walk from where I've ever walked from from what do you call it, Kansanga to Chambo just to have an education, like every day, and go back. And I used to paint. I used to do quick paint. I used to paint it like in 10 minutes and just go and walk to Nakasero market, Nakasero, that place, the craft village, and sell the work and get a 5K and go to Chambogo. Like that is transport for 2 days or 3.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and then walk and then go to spaces and like National Theatre, that back end of it. And you want to sell your work and people chase you around and you go back and you're like, we need your art, we need your art. But then tomorrow again you're doing the same thing, same thing. That's when actually I realized I have to be an artist.
So regardless of what you went through, you didn't give up.
Yeah, but also when everything became like clear and things were working, I remember this one time. I don't know if I should talk about it, but let's do it. I remember this one time when I was at 30 degrees and like the residency, I worked with Nava Gray. She came and performed well, everything. Everyone was like, hey, Udu, Chikubye, what? I'm like, okay. Then we go back home. I remember I went back with Mitch. Every time, this is the only human being who calls me to check on me, like, Tewe Tuga. Yeah, he abandons his house at midnight to just come and stay with me in my house and make sure that I'm okay. I remember that time I was like, oh, dude, yeah, I know what you're going through. I'm not going to tell you what I was going through specifically, but I was mentally not okay and things were just crazy for me. And I was like, oh, like they don't know what is going on with you. And he just gave me like motivation for me to go through that, and the next day I'm good. Also, we artists, we pass through a lot, like mentally, but most times we just have them in our works. Like Waga Holiday was for me an outlet of my anger for like confiscating my work. And also, I remember when I was creating that work behind us, that was the time I was really depressed too, like really also depressed, where my parent was sick, like a lot of relationship issues, my friends, the work is not going, like it's too much work. I had a lot of things happening by that time, yeah. And that work has a lot of stress around it, and I really respect that work, yeah. But I used to still show up at places, for events, and you're just smiling, yeah, I'm good. And people are like, oh, yeah, you're doing this. But people don't know what is like behind everything. Yeah, they don't know what is happening. Yeah. At least right now, yeah, because I reached a point where I had, uh, I was tired emotionally, mentally. I was tired, and you cannot just sleep it off, or you cannot just, even though you sleep for 1 year, you won't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why now I'm trying to do other mediums of art like music right now. I'm doing a lot of music right now. I'm collaborating with musicians, poets, storytellers, yeah, another people like sound designers, sound like producers and what. Yeah.
So, what's that one thing you would want to leave with our youths out there that are watching?
We are in a Gen Z world, and the Gen Z people don't want to. They are not patient enough. So I
So, there
think
is nothing you want to leave them with?
I'm just telling them to be patient with things. Yeah, just be patient with what you're doing. Things take time, but that is the best part of it. Yeah, the time that goes with it. It can't be an amazing wine when they just made it yesterday.
Yeah.
For it to be called wine, it passes through a process. So to be an amazing wine, it has to take some good time still. Yeah, that's why even I go and sleep for 1 week, I'll still come back and create art. Like because I've gone through the process of like thoughts, figuring out how to think, how to conceptualize things, how to like it's just a journey of doing a lot of things. Yeah. This one time someone was saying, "Oh, to be the bibuzo." I'm like, even that is still for you bibuzo. You just pass the exam, but the reality out there, you won't pass it
It's
because
different.
yeah.
Amazing. So, for an artist out there watching who wants to be like you,
Please don't be like me.
You're discouraging
Okay,
people from being like you.
who hopes
Be like
to-
you.
They should be
like
authentic.
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that's right, because you are a multifaceted visual artist right now because you chose to be yourself. You
Yeah.
chose to be an outlier and stand out. My question seeks to bring out particular skills and the mindset that a person should have. For anyone, artist or not artist, who hopes to make it, you're one of the very few artists that has traveled so far. There's so many young artists out there who are stuck, who would want to do better, to go beyond, but they don't know how to do it. They
They're
don't
scared.
know what skills or what direction to take. What should I learn? What shouldn't I learn? What direction should I take? What's that one thing you want to leave with them? What sort of direction or framework, or let me call it a compass, you want to give them that would still enable them be true to themselves,
Yeah.
but also still sort of find their way in the complexities of this world?
I think they should, first of all, like accept. If you want to be an artist, really be an artist because it's quite difficult. And also, just making research, just being authentic with yourself, just not moving with the trends of art because after the trend dies away, you'll jump on another one and you're not authentic enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just be authentic with ourselves and just, I don't know, it depends on also what the person wants. Maybe they just want to make money. Yeah, so yeah, I think that is something really key. Just being authentic with yourself. One day they will see you, or one day someone will connect with what you're doing. Yeah, I remember I used to do the aluminium things, and we were like, "Again, again, yeah." And I kept on doing the work, and then
You
figuring
didn't give
out,
up.
yeah. And then sometimes I tell people like, I might not make sense right now, but wait, I'll be the sense. Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. Vera, will you be the sense?
Yes, I'll be the sense.
Just make sure I don't be the sense of humor.
I'll be the sense. So,
Yeah.
Odur, for a person that wants to see more of your work, what are your socials?
Um, my socials on Instagram, Odur Art Uganda, like ODURART. Odur Art, actually, yeah. That is my socials.
Only on Instagram?
That is where I put the majority of my work.
Oh.
So if you go on Twitter, I don't know. There's some things there, but Odur Art Uganda on
Okay.
Twitter, but most especially on Instagram and on Google.
Oh,
Yeah, like
okay.
Odur Ronald. Just Google Odur Ronald, you see different things there. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Should we be expecting anything new? Are you doing for us something new?
Yeah, I'm going to Mars. I'm kidding. But yeah, but currently I'm working on a musical album with different people, and it's part of my extension of a work called The Scars on My Elbow, where I got an accident, and that was another trauma for me mentally. It's the community, the art community that came together and supported me, and also creating art supported me. And I remember I used to weave a mat, and my friends, people used to come to see me, used to slice the mat, the aluminium plate for me. I used to weave it. My family used to do that for me, and then I used to weave. So I'm working on a piece called The Scars on My Elbow, and I'm making half a football pitch of an aluminium mat, mukeka. So I want to work with an orchestra of 200 people on the mat, and also the audience also on the mat. So next year.
So you're all going to be on the mat?
We're going
Are we going to sit down?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the mat.
I have to be
Please
there.
watch out.
Yeah.
We have to be on Odur's mat.
Yeah, we have to sit on the mat.
For mukeka.
Mukeka.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you.
It's been a
And
pleasure also having me
just
here.
getting to know your story. It's very, very interesting.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for having me here.
You're welcome.
You're
If you have a part 2, I'm up for it. I know maybe.
Yeah, they should wait for our part 2.
Part 2 will be on the mat.
Yeah, part 2 will be on the mat.
We will be seated on the mat. Yeah.
Yes.
So do watch out for our next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. Also, let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you.
Bye.